I want to show you guys what I think is maybe the more fun way to automate. Not that there's anything that not fun about this, but one way that I really see people getting into creative types of automation, especially if you have something like a simple USB controller. I am holding, I'm going to put it on my face, my old trusty audio controller that has a few knobs that are assignable to some things. Or if you're fortunate enough to have a version iPad 2 or later, I'm not going to hold it up anymore, you can get the Logic Remote app and you can do a different kind of automation besides the drawn-in automation here, and that is to do some real-time recorded automation. And it's going to work, in the same way as far as we are in automation mode here, but we're going to be able to do this one right from the mixer or from the track inspector in the main window. And I want you to look here and see that with all those tracks, like the vocals and stuff that we wrote something on, we've got a new green box happening there. All the other ones said read in that same spot, the gray ones that say read, but now we see there's some green ones. That means that automation has been written on that track and it is currently reading it. It's going to play it back for us. If ever you don't like it, but you want to keep it, well, say you like your automation, but you need to be able to move the fader, because now as it's playing, look at that lead vocal here, I'm going to highlight it. When I turn it down, they're going to want to read. Well, I don't think I had volume on there actually, sorry. There's my lead vocal. If I had that set to read and I moved the volume, it's going to try to snap back to where that volume was, at least when I play again. There we go. So let me stop it, hit space. See it jump right back to where it was before, right? So let's say, no, I need to stop and change it and have it come back. I need to just keep it at a different level. What we can do is click right on there and we can just turn off the power. So no longer will it read until we want to come back, but we don't have to delete the automation. But we'll see there's some other options in here as well. So I'm going to go for the vocal again. And besides read, we've got touch, latch, and write. Right? These are 3 different modes of automation, and they go way back into the 80s with the full-size console and before we had DAWs. But I'm going to start with this track in write, and it tells me, warning, write mode is going to write, basically. It's going to write over anything that we had there. It's a destructive kind of recording of this automation, right? And so it's turned purple for me. Now, you don't have to hit record, even though we're recording automation. But what I'm going to show you here is, again, we're on that vocal track. What I'm going to do is go in, I'm going to adjust the fader, I'm going to turn off the mute, I'm going to move the pan a little bit, I'm going to go in to the EQ, move it around a little bit, and hit stop. When we hit stop, first going to notice that it changed from write. It's not in read, it's in touch. But when I play back, we should right away start to see everything that I just did. It recorded it and it brought it back. We're going to jump the window here. And you see, sure enough, there are all the different components that I worked on. I can actually see in the background some of the things that it did. And here, when I flip that little triangle down, it shows me all the different things I did. So the EQ, the pan, we're hearing the effects of that EQ moving back and forth. Let's start it over again. And we can go back to the mixer and see everything that it did. So that's it. Just hit play while it's in write and you can control anything you want and it's going to remember and it's going to play it back. You don't like something about it, go in and do some editing. We said we could highlight some of this stuff and delete it and just keep the stuff we do want, or maybe fine-tune, adjust it just a little bit manually afterwards, but if we got the basic idea down, that's great. But what we need to remember is if we go back into the mixer, is that if I was to go back and go into write mode again and hit play, what it's going to do is actually write over wherever I am now. So I could do a full new take, but you have to be careful not to just hit play, because I'm going to switch back over. And watch what it's doing is rewriting everything wherever we happen to have set it at, and we're hitting play. So be careful with that. I'm going to undo it and bring back all this stuff that it got rid of. Couple Command Z's. And bring it back over here and show you that that's a reason why it went automatically and it changed to one of the 2 other options. And it's a preference to go to either touch or latch. And I'll tell you guys about those 2. First of all, touch is the one that I normally go to right away or already start in. Touch is a great one where it's going to let me play. Said that was dangerous before. but it's not recording over anything. It's letting it all happen until, let me put it back at the beginning here. I'm going to use the inspector this time. Okay. So it's reading it. Watch what happens now though. I'm going to touch the fader. And now it's writing. But as soon as I let go of, I'm holding down the trackpad, now it brings it back again. Now look, I got the vocal on the iPad. So I can adjust it, let go, it goes right back. So if I'm touching, it writes it. I let go, it goes back again. Same with the pan and everything else. It's basically like a snapback type thing. And that's the one that I think normally works the best, because when we mix, we set everything where we want it to be. And now we can make little adjustments, a little louder here, a little quieter here. Let's turn up that effect processor there, let it go back to where it was before. And again, it's another one where you just open up whatever you want to work with. So I'll turn on ensemble and I'll hit play. And whenever I change anything, number of voices, intensities, stuff like that, it's remembering it and it's writing all that in a new lane down here for me. And I can see and edit all those different ones. It couldn't be simpler. I just think it's so cool to go in and get movement to everything. Turn on and off. A really common thing would be just to bypass plugins. Make them work sort of like guitar pedals where you can stomp them on for part of a song, turn them off again. So just bypass, automating these different things is a really, really useful function in the automation as well. Take a look here in this list one more time. And sure enough, we look in here and insert bypasses are the first one. So that's another one, off on the bottom, on at the top type of thing. And we can go through and bypass those.